So the big question is this: how do you lose all the weight that you want and actually keep it off for the rest of your life, while trying to make sense of all the noise that comes from the weight loss industry? That is the question. And this podcast will give you the answers.
G'day guys, and welcome to the next episode of the Weight Loss Secrets podcast. My name is Baron Grant and I'm excited to be with you again today to share some more tips and tricks on the journey to help you lose as much weight as you can and keep it off for the rest of your life. Now, before I go any further, today as always is brought to you by Ditching the Diet. Head to ditchingthediet.com and you can get a hold of my new book, you can get hold of a coaching program, training program, everything you need to be able to change the way you eat, the way you feel about food, how everything in your life when it comes to the way you eat and losing all that weight and keeping it off. And so today I want to talk about something really simple and something that I really think needs to be encouraged more and more and more than almost anything else, and that is the consumption of water. Water is probably the most important part or thing that we can consume in our lives, because over 60% of our body is made up of water, and we simply don't give ourselves enough of it. And we live in a world now where there's so many other options than what there used to be 50, 100, 150, 200 years ago. And those options are not as good as water. None of them are as good as water, but we seek them out because they're tasty and they're fizzy and they're sugary, and we like to justify in our own minds that somehow that makes them good, but they're not good. Water is it. It is the key. It is the most important thing. And on this podcast, I'm going to give 3 reasons as to why you should drink more water in your day-to-day life, whether you're trying to lose weight or not. But if you're listening to this podcast, clearly you're here to lose weight. So that's what we're going to be talking about really. But before I go and talk about those 3 reasons though, I do want to call something out here. If you've gone through life or over the last few years thinking that I'm drinking lots of water because I'm drinking Pepsi Max or Coke Zero or some other diet cordial or protein waters or whatever, and I'm not saying that all these things are innately horrendous and bad, but we have to stop kidding ourselves that we're drinking water if we're drinking all of these things that are not water. There are other things in the water. And all of that stuff makes a huge difference. And I'm going to do a whole podcast just on soft drinks, 0 calorie ones or not, it doesn't matter. But the stuff that's in them is not good. And if we think that we're doing somehow something better for our bodies by drinking Pepsi Max or Coke Zero compared to, a full strength one, we're actually kidding ourselves. Yes, it has less sugar, but the other stuff that's in them is terrible stuff. And it does damage to our teeth, it does damage to our bodies, it does damage to everything. And so before I talk about the benefits of water, I just wanted to call that out. Don't kid yourself that if you're drinking lots of tea or coffee or other fizzy drinks or other diet drinks or whatever it is, that you're drinking water. I'm talking about pure, non-touched water out of the tap or out of a bottle that has nothing else in it. All right, because all of those things that we start to put in it, generally speaking, make it not quite as good a substance as what it was. And our bodies don't need it. We might think we need a fizzy drink. Nobody needs a fizzy drink. When it's really hot, but Baron, it's really hot, I need a fizzy drink. No, you don't. But Baron, I don't really like water. So what? Your body needs water. You've got to give yourself water. That is like the most important thing. You can live off water for weeks and weeks and weeks on end. I've seen people do 21-day fasts, very close to me. I've seen them do longer fasts, and you can live completely, comfortably is not right, but you can live without food for a long period of time. You cannot live without water. Water is the most important thing in our body. So with all that said, why should you drink water, right? So first and foremost, for weight loss, water is an appetite suppressant. It is the best appetite suppressant. You can go to the doctors and get your Duramine or get your other stuff like that they call appetite suppressants, but the best appetite suppressant is water, right? Because it fills your stomach up, therefore sending a message to your brain to say that you're full, therefore not requiring as much food. And remember, we are Australia is, 70% of Australia is overweight. The population of Australia, 70% is overweight. So we're clearly eating too many calories. And so filling our stomach up with some water is a good idea. And by the way, a lot of the time that we think we are hungry, we're not. We're thirsty because our body, remember how much is it made up? 60% of our body is made up of water, and we're not giving it nearly enough water. If we're drinking 1 glass of water a day or 2 glasses of water a day, it's nowhere near what our body needs to have everything functioning appropriately. Even our brains and our hearts and everything we need water in our bodies all the time. So that's number one. It's an appetite suppressant. It fills up your stomachs, therefore sending a message to your brain to say you're full. You don't need to eat as much food if you drink more water. And we actually don't need as much food. That's why so much of Australia is overweight, because we eat too much food. So that's point number one. So that's awesome. It's an appetite suppressant, and it doesn't cost $300 a month or whatever it is to go get your Duromine. It does it naturally, and it's straight out of your tap. I remember my brother-in-law, his dad used to call it Tapaline to make it sound a little bit more exciting. So if you're struggling with water, just get in your head that it's actually Tapaline. And even though it comes out of the tap, it's kind of exciting, right? All right, number two is it removes water retention. Now this is an interesting one because everybody has a degree of water retention in their body. Now some people have a large amount of water retention, and it happens a lot because our kidneys and our liver, which are the filtration systems in our body, are not working efficiently. And when we constantly put crap stuff in, it causes our filters to clog up. That's the best way to describe it. You think of a pool filter, if you ever pull out one of those pool filters, the little basket, it's full of crap, right? Over time, it just gets full and full of more and more crap. So it's like a pool filter, right? And your kidneys and your liver to have water flushing through them to be able to clear it all out and make sure everything's operating efficiently in our bodies. So when we constantly give it crap beverages, then it stops working very well. So how do we get it working better? And when it stops working very well, it builds up excess amounts of water in our bodies, which is not good. That puffy look you might have, a lot of that can be from water retention. When you're overweight, generally you'll be carrying extra fat as well as extra water. So removing both is actually really important because they're all contributing to your weight. Now, on that point of water weight versus fat weight, everybody always talks about, well, if you just lose a lot of weight in the first week, it's just water weight. Yes, it is, but you need to lose that weight as well. Whether it's coming from water or whether it's coming from fat loss, you've got to get rid of it. And when you get rid of the water, you'll end up getting rid of more of the fat because you're drinking more water, and that's how we get rid of it. And that's the message here. The only way you can reduce water retention in your body is to drink more water, which sounds insanely counterproductive. But it's, as I mentioned before, it's like the filtration system in your body. As you drink more water, it flushes everything out, and all of a sudden that filter starts working in the way that it needs to. So more water in your body coming into your mouth equals less water sitting in your body. So we want flow. Let's get flow. So increase the water supply in your body just so you can flush out that excess water, get rid of that puffy look in your body, and it will help with your weight loss immensely. You will lose weight much faster if you're drinking more water. Okay, the third one is that water contains 0 calories. Now, I know what you might be saying. You might say, Baron, but I drink this fancy zero drink or diet drink and that contains 0 calories. Yes, but water contains 0 calories without all the extra chemicals that are in those crazy drinks. So remember, if you look at the back of the thing and there's lots of ingredients on the back of anything that you eat, you should chuck it away because it's garbage coming into your body. All of those different chemicals and stuff are no good. That's a discussion for another day. But water contains 0 calories, so you can drink it as much as you like. I mean, alcohol, that'd be another podcast as well, but if you were going to have a glass of wine, you could consume between 200 and 250 calories in one glass. One glass! It's crazy, right? Where you could have a glass of water instead of that, and I understand that people love to have a wine, but the difference is amazing. You have 2 or 3 glasses, well, you could have 4 glasses and you'll consume almost all of the food that you should have eaten in one day. It defeats the whole purpose. And because they're higher carbohydrate and sugar calories, they store as fat pretty quickly as well in our bodies. Another discussion, but water is better. Why? Because it has no calories and no bad stuff. All good stuff. And your body is exactly what our body needs. And I think I mentioned on another podcast that it's not just about what we want. In fact, it's very little about what we want. We've conditioned ourselves to have sugary things. And then you might say, but it's got no sugar here, but it's sugary tasting things. We've conditioned ourselves to have this sweetness, so therefore water can feel a little boring. Water is the greatest drink on earth. If you don't like it, then get comfortable with being overweight. That's okay. You don't have to have it. My friend said to me once, he goes, Baron, I want to lose weight. I really do. It's really important to me, but I like the taste of chocolate more. Cool. So have the taste of chocolate and don't lose weight. So if you want to lose weight, you got to drink water. The other stuff does not equate. It doesn't fill the hole that pure water does, because our body needs it so desperately. So takeaway today, drink water as your main drink in your life. If you're drinking other things more than water, go away and change it. It's got to go the other way. Water must be the thing that you drink most often. Doesn't matter whether it's warm, whether it's cool, whether it's freezing cold out of the fridge. Whatever you're comfortable with, go with that. Some people don't like really cold water, so that's fine. Just get it in. Like Wim Hof, look him up. Wim Hof does breathing techniques and really is all about controlling your body. So look him up, he's fantastic. But he talks about getting air in. He said, you got to breathe in your nose and out your mouth. He goes, whatever, just get it in, any hole, get it in, any hole. That's how he says it. Just suck it in any way that you can. Whether it's hot, cold, warm, get the water in as much as you possibly can without adding extra stuff into it all the time. And if you do that, you'll feel so much better in your body. Your skin will be clearer. Your hair will be shinier. Your nails will look better. Your body will feel better. You'll lose way more weight and you won't be craving as much sugar because you remove that whole, I've got to have that tasty sugar flavor all the time. So go away. Have a look at your water intake. Can you up it? Get a couple of liters in a day at least. Even a bit more would be better. Get that in every single day. As you do that, it'll make a huge difference to the way that you feel and your ability to lose weight. Stay away from all the other stuff. Hit the water. You got this. We'll chat tomorrow.